So as I was saying, I'm proud to introduce Jill Standish, who is the global lead for retail with the consulting firm Accenture, the largest consulting firms in the world. Jill's the head of Accenture's global retail practice, managing the client portfolio and developing offerings and capabilities that allow retailers to move forward with agility. I actually had the good fortune to work for Jill on many client engagements, and I was proud to do so. We had a lot of fun when I worked at Accenture. With 30 years experience in retail sales, marketing, consulting leadership, Jill has led digital and physical transformations for global retail brands and built retail practices for leading technology and services companies. Today, her key focus is on rebuilding retail for what comes next. And Jill will be sharing her insights on reinventing retail with AI. Welcome, Jill.
Thank you so much. All right, I think I need the clicker. All right. So I actually love the fact that I'm last because everything that these folks have said, I'm going to show you. So isn't that lovely? Thank you for being here. So I'm going to tell you that this is what I tell clients, which are retailers. So I put yourself in the shoes of a company that is selling to consumers, because that's really what the message is. That's who we consult to all the time. And what we tell them is that we're in a pretty big time right now. I remember when the internet was launched and it freaked me out. And my grandfather used to say, "You're going to send me a message and I'm going to open it on my computer. Why don't you just send me a letter?" I mean, like that was the time when I was born. That's how long ago it was. And the reason is because it's AI and Gen AI. And we've had, by the way, is that my, that's not my phone, is it? No. We've had AI in retail for a really long time, since scanning, by the way. By the way, we remove prices from products and we scan them now. You guys know that, right? Okay, good. Just checking with everybody. And so just to give us some grounding as to what we mean by AI, I mean, you guys are probably taking a lot of courses on what AI is, but I always like to educate, especially C-suite of retailers, their boards, their CEOs. What the hell are you talking about, Jill? And so it starts with diagnostic AI. I mean, we've had diagnostic AI in retail for a long time. What happened? How many did we sell? Which stores are performing? Which salespeople are doing well? That's like what happened. It looks at the past. Then we got into what might happen in the future. So that's all around predictive AI. And we do simulations and say, what if we did, back to the A/B testing, what if we did this versus that? Now we're in a world where it is, what can AI do for me? And that is a brain twist to what we've been through in the past. And so the reason why we're talking about Gen AI is because this is the first time it's unlocking human beings to be able to interface with data through natural language. And that just makes your mind go, I mean, you don't have to hire programmers anymore, gang. I mean, it's just wild. So it's the voice and it's the creative that is really changing the way that companies are thinking about AI. So the way we talk about it is three things. It's going to change, Gen AI is going to change the way people shop, and I'll show you what I mean by that in a minute. It's going to change the way how companies operate, and it's going to change the way how people work. That's okay. It's a really nice tune. So if I go into how people are going to shop, basically I'm saying that we're going to go away from product discovery, and we're going to get into the era of recommendations. You just heard some really good examples of that. I think the examples that we were talking about was when you can contain your consumer in your website, those recommendations. But I'm going to share with you that the majority of recommendations are coming from LLMs that are in social, which you cannot control, which is the black box of where brands are sitting there going, how the hell do I show up when someone's on ChatGPT and says, what's the best dress for a wedding in June? So that's the holy shit moment when brands are going, I used to pay for search. I used to pay Google a ton of money to be the top result in a search result. This is kind of a fun time for me because I really want to disrupt Google. I mean, these companies are paying, you know this, a ton of money so that their product comes at the top. You can't pay to play in this world, which I think is super good. If there's happiness here, we're going to have maybe more authentic search. Maybe it's real search. Maybe it's based upon what your brand is known for. Maybe it's about the reviews that you have. Maybe it's about the authenticity that you provide. Maybe it's your brand message versus what you paid Google to put at the top. mean, that makes me feel good as a consumer. I don't know about you, but it does make me feel good. The other thing is it's going to get really bespoke and tailored. We talked about that earlier. So I think personalization, we're going to get even more tailored and more personalized. And it's also going to be localized. Most retailers are doing a better job now of localized assortment because they can handle the data to figure it out. They can work with local farmers to get local inventory in their stores. They can deal with local merchants differently. It's a new world than the big box retailer in the past. So localized, personalized, and we're going to do recommendations. So people are going to be advising you. Like it or not, it's happening. The other thing, so here's a really good example of LLMs are the new influencers. So this is on Meta AI. And basically, I'm asking a question. If I hit this, let's see if it works. I'm asking it a question. I'm training for my first marathon. Let's see if this works. Uh-oh, my little video's not working. That's all right. Watch this. I'm going to fix it really quickly. Can you read it? Okay. So it's basically I'm saying, I'm training for a marathon. Oh, congratulations. Choosing the right sneakers is crucial for a successful thing. How about Brooks, Asics, Nike, New Balance, Hoka? I was presenting to New Balance, and they were almost falling over. Jill, where's this coming from? Where did you get this? I'm like, go on Meta. Show me a photo of the New Balance shoe. That's not even theirs. That's not even theirs. So that's what's going on here. Now, if you talk to any direct-to-consumer, oh, where can I buy this shoe? Here we go. Now they're getting all antsy. You can get it at Dick's, Running Warehouse, New Balance, official website. Where's it getting this? Now it's coming back. How much is it? Oh, now they're getting freaked out when you're in the room showing this stuff. This is like, all I did was record this, gang. Now it's going to go to Bing, and it goes and picks out the price. So listen, that's what's going on here. So you can do whatever you want around a lot of the tools that we used in the past. And I hated to actually, I'm glad David's not here because he'd be really pissed listening to me because he's talking about personalization. This is the Wild West. This is new technology. But this is where people are going. This is on Meta. You know how many people are on Meta? I mean, it's the fastest uptick in these tools that I've ever seen in my life. And ChatGPT. People are going to ChatGPT and saying, what should I wear to a wedding in June? They're not saying, what can you tell me the Ralph Lauren red dress and the price and where I can buy it and check the inventory? They're not doing that. They're saying, what's more appropriate for a woman, how old I am, to wear to my son? I'm the mother of the bride, what should I wear? And it's giving me advice. That's very different than product search. The other thing is this is going to be everywhere. It's not just going to be on your phone. It's going to be in your car. It's going to be in your kitchen. It's going to be on Alexa. So this is ambient AI. Now, those of us in the room, we can talk about algorithms, and we understand it because we're kind of trained, and you guys are academics. I've been in retail my whole career. So when I'm talking about algorithms, I understand what's going on here, so I can kind of see beyond this. Most consumers have no clue. They don't. They don't know that there's an algorithm behind the scenes. You talk to any consumer and you say algorithm, they go, oh, oof, whatever that is, I don't know. They just want to make sure. By the way, if you look at what's going on with Amazon and Rufus, and now Alexa is going to be recommending, that scares the out of me. How is that being trained? It's probably for what they have excess of, I think to your point. It's also what they're going to make some of profit on. They're going to train it to maximize profit. You watch. Now, do you feel deceived? I don't know. Maybe it's going to be okay. Maybe because who cares if they recommend a paper towel brand that I never buy? I don't really care. So see what I mean? It's almost like, does personalization and privacy and recommendations bother you, or is it really making your life easier? I don't know. Depends on what it is. If it's like a vitamin, I probably care. If it's paper towels, who cares? You know what I mean? I mean, that's okay. The other thing is how companies are going to operate. Now, those of you who are going to graduate here and look for jobs, just saying, I'm going to show you how companies are really, I'm sorry, does that really bother you? I'm sorry. I mean, this is like a marketing team, and I'm going, oh, Jesus, should I be telling them all this stuff? I think that the point is that functional silos, you guys said it earlier, functional silos are going to absolutely go away, I think, and I hope. Because if you were starting a new company and it was a retailer, would you really have a marketing department and then have a merchandising department? I mean, you wouldn't. You would say, I think I need to know what I put on sale versus, and also what's coming and what's in inventory. And do I have enough in inventory to put that on sale so I don't be out of stock? I mean, like, that's a natural, but we're siloed today. And the systems that the people who are doing pricing are very separate than the systems that the merchants are using. It's silliness. But it's going to start to go like this. And I'll show you what the future looks like for departments. Don't be scared. It's going to be okay. The other thing is there's going to be a time when there's so much of these agents, and I hear the word agent a lot now, but these tools are going to be suggesting something to like a merchant or a pricer or a planner. They're going to say, because of this information, please put this many in this store, in this store, in this store. And it's up to the human being to say, that makes sense, that makes sense, that makes sense. And so I think the earlier part, most of the tools will say, why did I say that? So the logic behind the recommendation is now exposed. So that to me makes a ton of sense. I mean, merchants should have better tools, and they should say, what the hell is selling? Tell me what's not selling. What should I put on sale? What should I move? Did Justin Bieber tweet something that now I can't sell that anymore, so I should mark it down? I mean, that's the kind of stuff that will start to happen more and more and more. That's a true story, by the way. Justin Bieber tweeted, "Ugg boots are ugly." This was a couple years ago. And so everyone said, get the hell rid of those Ugg boots. Like, they're going to tank. Sell them, put them on sale. Don't buy any more Ugg boots. They're still around, but he did tweet that. The other thing is new revenue streams. So I don't know if you guys know this, but the average profit margin for a retailer is like 5%, depending upon the segment. Consumer goods companies is 19%, which really pisses me off because I'd really like for the power to shift to the retailer because they're doing all the hard work, no offense. So I think the new revenue streams for the retailer around selling ads, for sure, is on everybody's mind. The new retail media networks is really popular. A third of Walmart's profit is their retail media network. A third. Huge. Now, that is getting disrupted. Why? Because if agents are doing the searching of websites, they're not looking at ads. So if you have a shopping agent that says, go buy me a pair of running shoes for a marathon, and it's going out to Amazon and it's going out to all these sites, what is it not doing? It's not seeing any pop-up anything. It's actually emulating keystrokes of a human being. I mean, that's how agent works, by the way. It's not hard to understand. It's emulating keystrokes of a human being searching websites. That's what it's doing. So companies right now are saying, if in fact, I think you guys were saying it, if in fact websites should be now changed to actually handle, I think it was you saying it, someone was saying this, handle the fact that agents are going to be shopping my site, I better make it available to see pricing. A lot of companies block their websites. You know that. So I better make my pricing available if that's important, that I want to show up through an agent. I got to change my product attribution. Maybe I have more information describing a product because I want to make sure I get the keywords that these things are. If a consumer's saying, get me something really bright and cheery for a wedding, I better have bright and cheery in my descriptor. So people are starting to think about product attribution now big time and what's on the website and can it be scraped? I've never seen this in my life. It was always lock down your website, don't let it be, right? Don't let it be scraped. Now it's like, have it. It's a new world out there with this. But the thing is with retail media networks, I really do think that it's going to get disrupted. If agents are going to start to do more and more, they're not going to see the ads. And it's going to be hard to sell ads if people aren't seeing it. It's kind of an obvious thing. Okay. Here's the thing that freaks out everybody. I'm sorry for you who are going to go try to find roles in this industry. 46% of all retail roles, frontline and corporate, are going to be disrupted by Gen AI. 63% of all corporate functions are going to be disrupted by Gen AI. It's going to be all right. It will be all right. I promise you, it will be all right. Here's the way to think about it. Now, this is what we've mapped is a total, like a marketing function. This is what's going to freak you guys out. Here is today. This is 100 workers in marketing. They do things like research, brand management, media management, content creation, marketing operations, blah, blah, blah. That's all been done by the marketing organization. Look at, you're taking a picture of my stuff. I love it. The second is the creative agency does account management, research strategy, creative design, and content. And then the media agency does this. The ones that go like this and go down here actually can be done by tools today. So you're getting more capacity. So here's the things that 73 workers are going to do versus 100. And there's a lot of people in agencies right now. Is there anyone here from a marketing agency? Sorry. They're all looking for work. I mean, I hate to say that, but that whole industry is, isn't it? I mean, it's getting disrupted. So I'm not telling you something you don't know. There's so many people from like Digitas who are looking for jobs right now. It's going to be all right, you guys. If that's what you want to do in your life, you can go work for a company like this and know the tools. Yeah? All right. So that's what's happening. And that's happening, by the way, in every department. This is just an example. This is marketing. But it's happening across most of them. How employees work. Remember I said how you shop, how companies operate, and how employees work. We think that technology is going to be an adjunct of their job, and they're going to supervise the tech. So that is, it's not going to take over their role, they're going to supervise it. So remember I said for a merchant, it's going to come back and say, how about this as a suggestion for this many and that many and this many and that many? Fantastic. Do I like that or not? Yes, I like that. Go negotiate that with the supplier. That will spin off a whole nother set of agents that'll go negotiate with the supplier. It'll write the email. It'll say, here's the terms. It'll maybe open up a chat bot. Did you know that Walmart now negotiates with all of its suppliers via bots? If you're a buyer for Walmart, you're not very happy about that. However, that's what they're doing. They're putting out their terms and their rules, and they're saying, go get this from so-and-so, this vendor. Here's their history. Here's all the data about their performance. Here's what I suggest you negotiate. And then it goes all through bots. That's what's happening. The other thing is we think that workers are going to have virtual agents for operational tasks. I mean, my daughter works for a retailer, and she's a merch assistant, and she's now doing so much crazy work on like logging onto these systems saying, where's the PO? The PO's wrong. I'm like, that's all going to be agents in the future. But she's employed, and I'm happy about that. So it's okay. I think the other thing is employees are going to be driven by their values. So, I mean, listen, this is better work for people. I mean, that's the happy thought. I mean, she really doesn't like what she does, playing around on spreadsheets and logging onto old systems and looking at POs. I mean, who wants to do that in their life? So maybe there's a happy thought here, which is maybe it's going to get a lot better. Maybe it's going to be more fun. Maybe it's going to be more strategic. So here is the example. You were talking about I stole your thunder. This is actually a client of mine in Germany. This is the Best Buy of Germany. So it's called Media Mart Saturn. I don't know if anyone's here from Germany. And what they were talking about is your exact provocation, which is people in stores don't know enough about the products that's on the shelf. It's really hard because if you're especially the orange apron in a Home Depot, there's no way that you're expert on paint and electrical and plumbing. So what they've done is they've created an AI agent. You're going to see this. The most important thing is we did this in 2 months. So this is a conversational agent in a headpiece of the store associate. And the absolute response time is conversational. So you're going to see it. You ready? Basically, they're talking about the fact that there's too many products out there. You can't have all the information. And so they've put this device in the ear of the consumer. Don't think it, they call it My Buddy. So the sales associate says, hey, my buddy, can you tell me the warranty on this washing machine? And it comes back in his ear and says, the warranty on this washing machine is 1 year, manufacturer warranty. And then he'll tell the consumer, it's 1 year manufacturer warranty. So this idea is that it's, again, conversational. It was built on standard tools. It was built with Microsoft. And that's the kind of stuff that's going on right now. So the fact that this is there and we built it in 2 months is, I think, the message. Now, I'll tell you, when I was talking to the executive who ran the company here, she's the chief customer officer, and she said, they did this and they didn't realize how important this project was to their people. And they said that the people in the store are probably the ones that are so much more excited about this than anyone else because they're putting on their resume, they're working with Gen AI. And so it's really great for their career. They think they're on the top of their game. You know, instead of just being someone who's selling washing machines, he's now a Gen AI guy on his resume. I mean, I think that's just so cool. Anyway, okay. The other thing, this is our version of what Gen AI can do that your departments could do, but now Gen AI is going to do it. It's going to kind of blow your mind. The way that we've set this up is we said, imagine you come to work and another pandemic hit and you got no one in the office, just you. And you got to launch a new product. What do? You ready? Can you guys read it? Now the data analyst is saying, analyze the sales data. I need help, top selling sweatshirts. We're going to try to launch a new sweatshirt, okay? The data analyst, which this is just open AI, having access to, start examining the content. Here's the colors, common keywords and product descriptions under user reviews. Any product description recommendations? So it's basically coming back and saying, emphasize this, comfort, style, versatility, etc. Black and blue seems to be trending. Product description examples. You don't have to read all this, but that's the point. It's like doing all the work for them. Okay, how about any creative direction? Now this is another tool. This is Midjourney. Let me give you some. These are not real people. How about this one? That's a good one. Great. I like those. Perfect. How about we need some ad units? Great. Let's generate some ad units that we can put out through Instagram. Perfect. Oh, our digital team is out sick too. Uh-oh. We got to change our website, or we got to also make sure our mobile site looks good. Boom. Literally, this was done within, how long did this take? 30 seconds? Let's get some human feedback. So back to the A/B testing. Sorry, now I'm going to totally mess with you guys. Now there's another tool. Let's do some testing. Giving it some understanding of what's going on. Last request. Oh, the CMO wants our strategy presentation. We better create that right away. Here's the deck. So that's the kind of stuff that we're teaching our clients about. Now, you say to yourself, holy crap, what's in it for all of us as a knowledge worker? This is out there today, gang. Most companies are starting to dabble with things like this. Are they connecting the dots between marketing and merchandising, et cetera? No, it's coming. And that's the point. And I think the real point is, by the way, this is not real. This was created with Midjourney. We're in the future of authenticity. And I think brands are going to have to start paying attention to, do I use a real model or do I generate one? I don't know if you followed what Levi's did early. They were doing fake models and they got complete kibosh in the market. They were like, I'm sorry, we will go back to using real models. But this is not real either. This was created with Midjourney. Now I can make her stand up, turn around. Now you say to yourself, well, that's really sad that it's fake. However, companies spend how much money for models and shoots? $2,000 an hour for a shoot. If you can do it with a tool, maybe we're getting somewhere. Maybe if this doesn't work, then I can change it really quickly. Maybe if it's not working on my website, I can do a different one and make sure that I'm really responsive to how consumers see things. So maybe it's making our lives better. You know, I'm looking at it as a positive because the capability is there. I mean, I was on Instagram yesterday and it was on Facebook, and they said, Taylor Swift got married. Did you see that? I was like, she did? Holy crap. And there was her walking down the aisle with the football guy. I was like, wow, look at that. Amazing. And then I read the comments and it was like, you stupid fool. This is fake. This is AI, blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that's going on in our life. I really thought she got married. I really did. Stupid. So the use cases that people are using this for, let me just kind of conclude with what's going on. So first of all, the use cases of Gen AI are falling into support the customer directly or indirectly. So the directly is what I just showed you with consumers in the front lines with either on their phone or headpieces or whatever it is. But it's their standard operating procedures are now being put on tools. The way that they're interacting with, like, do we have this in inventory, or what is the what is the care of this product, or is this nutritional, whatever that is, that can all be now used on a conversational bot. So think of that empowering, super empowering the front line. It's also being used in call centers, huge. I mean, if you had 3,000 people in India or the Philippines doing your call center, it's probably gonna be 30 because it's all gonna be automated. So call centers, consumer-facing stuff. If you go on Home Depot's website right now, they have now a AI-generated bot by product. So like if you go down and see a lawnmower you like, you can say, give me the reason why this lawnmower is great. And it'll start to say, oh, this lawnmower has this many reviews, and this lawnmower, da-da-da-da-da. So fantastic. So, I mean, most people are doing it within their domain of their website as well. Employees I talked about, and then things like marketing and IT. I really believe, because Gen AI can do coding, so low code environments are coming right now too. And so this is a disruptor. It is a disruptor for especially IT and marketing, because I just showed you the marketing one. What we're not seeing is this, and I think it's coming, but we're not seeing supply chain, merchandising, and necessarily product innovation yet, but I think that's next. One of the things that's happening on the supply chain side is companies that have supply chain automation software, they're gonna add Gen AI on top of it so that users can ask it questions. Why, where is my inventory coming in from this country? Why is it not in the DC? So think of like supply chain diagnostic tools being more conversant. That's what's happening on the supply chain side. And then it's still early days. I mean, I'm talking to you about the future, like every company is gonna end up doing some of these things. It's still early, so everyone needs to calm down. Maybe you'll have a job, don't worry, it's gonna be okay. There's a lot of POCs, like proof of concepts. There's a lot of pilots. Most companies are turning on Gen AI, especially in their corporate offices, things around co-pilots. That's very popular right now. So I was sharing with a colleague earlier, most companies now have Copilot from Microsoft. So if you're late to a Teams meeting, it'll summarize it for you, and you could say, what are my to-dos? I mean, that's just a time saver. I mean, how lovely is that? So there's a lot of AI and Gen AI going on in corporate offices. There's a ton of backlog of use cases. There's a huge privacy thing going on right now, like what should I do? How should I lock it down? What should be my authenticity policy? Should I use fake models or not? I mean, there's a lot of that going on. The companies that are really doing a lot of this can afford to. So I like to say the 50 billion and above companies retailers are the ones building. Everyone else is going to buy. So the builders like Walmart, who's doing all of their supplier negotiations now with bots, they're building it because they're, what are they, 400, 500 billion? They can afford to do it. Whereas the rest of the retail industry, which is very fragmented down at the low end, they're going to buy. They're going to buy from Microsoft. They're going to buy from some of these tools. They're going to use open source. You know what I mean? That's what's going to happen. And that's it. So I hope I didn't freak you guys out, but I hope it was a little bit entertaining. So how's that?
Thank you, Jill. Fantastic. Questions?
Do you need a job? I know.
I'll give you my LinkedIn.
Okay, that's fine.
So the New Balance example with the chatbot was really interesting to me. And so my question's about hallucination and brand safety. Obviously, the shoe that it showed was not real. And so I guess how can brands sort of prepare for that? I'm thinking about a couple examples like the fake shoe, but also, you know, if I'm looking for a specific shoe and it says it's $80, but it's really $150, that may dissuade a consumer, right, from that purchase decision. So how can brands sort of prepare for this and sort of future-proof, knowing that there may be some mistakes here and there?
So there's a couple of things. I'll tell you my two examples. My first example is with New Balances. That's a really good one. When we were talking to them, the head of direct-to-consumer said, oh my God, where is my top of funnel? What's going to happen in my top of funnel? And I asked him, I said, well, do you know what's coming in from Amazon, what's coming in from ChatGPT? And he searched and he says it's small, but it's growing really fast. So if you start to look at where your top of funnel is coming from, that's just good information for you knowing, you know, what these LLMs are finding about you. Now, when I give this presentation, I completely got rid of the end, which is what do you do about all this? Because I didn't think you guys really cared. But what we talk about to consult is double down on your brand. Like if you're New Balance and you want to be known for marathons, obviously you're not coming to the top. You better start advertising that you're a damn good running shoe for marathons. See what I mean? So it gets back to basics of it's finding words and keywords. I'll tell you a lot of the work that we're doing now in this space is helping companies figure out their product attribution strategy. So when you go into a website and it just says three things, it's you know, high heels and it's suede and it's whatever. No, you need to say things like it's trendy or like what are the words that consumers are looking for their shoes, and you better have that on your website. And we're using Gen AI tools to go do that. Scrape what people are searching for and then this is kind of basic 101 marketing really. So product attribution, doubling down on your brand. Okay, so that's one angle. That's if you're trying to get traffic from the LLMs, whether that's Insta, Meta, ChatGPT. The other thing is, what are we doing with our own website? Because if your website can't answer a question, what should I wear for my wedding in June, then maybe you should start thinking about how do you start to be language conversant within your website. We did this with a company in France. Let me tell you the story. It's really a good one. So this is, in France, this company is Bricorama. Bricorama is Home Depot for France. And Bricorama said, I really want to help consumers, and I want to be like the leading company with Gen AI. I want to do it. So we said, okay, let's pick a category, and we picked painting, so the paint department. Because apparently the stat is like 80% of people paint their own projects, like they don't have contractors in France, and it's like 90% of them screw it up. So what if we helped people pick the best paint, color and type of paint, and the right amount of paint, et cetera? So what we did was we created within 3 months, so it was fast, we created a conversational commerce chat bot, if you will, where it starts with, hey, what's your project? And then you type in, I'm painting my daughter's room. Okay, let me tell you what's on trend. How old's your daughter? So it asks you questions. How old's your daughter? Well, if she's 17, you're not going to do pink, for example, right? So it comes back and says, how about these color schemes? Great, I like this one. And so you're conversing back and forth. Then it says, here's some pictures of 17-year-old girls' bedrooms. It's kind of like Pinterest, for those of you who know Pinterest. Here's pictures of what it might look like. Fantastic, I like this one, great. Then it comes back and it says, how big is the room? Well, it's so many meters by so many meters, fantastic. What is the wall type? Stucco, wood, blah, 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 fantastic. Then it says, oh, by the way, don't you need some paintbrushes and some whatever, tools? Yes, that's fun. Meanwhile, the whole time this is chatting, it's building a cart. Okay? So I always like to say you can have the best chats, but if you're not selling a damn thing, who cares? So this is building a shopping cart. And how we made it work was a couple things. One is when you logged in, you were logged into the inventory of your local store because they knew your IP address. And so you were logged into the Brick-A-Rama nearest you. It was only recommending what was in stock, which is super smart. Because if you're going to get recommendations and then you can't get it, you're just going to completely tick off consumers. So you have to link new with old technology, like inventory, and the new has to be connected, which is a tricky dribble for IT departments. But the way we did it was we logged into the local store and had that inventory feed the recommendation engine. What we learned in the pilot, because we started it in November and it ran, this was last year, it's been running now for a year, is the average person had 17 conversations back and forth, which I thought was pretty many. I mean, like talking to something like that. 17 back and forth, which is bizarre. And the average person came back 3 times to the site. So, back to this whole point of what can a retailer do in a world where there's a black box out there recommending stuff that you can't control because you can't pay for it because search is being disrupted. Maybe you can make your website inspirational. I mean, I tell this to grocers all the time. People don't go to you for recipes, ever. Like, we go to Epicurean.com or recipe.com. Are you going to log on to Stop and Shop to get a recipe? I mean, anything happening. But what if you could? And what if those recipes were, because I'm a vegetarian, I'm only seeing vegetarian stuff? So, and oh, by the way, what if you only recommended stuff that you got too much of and it's a good deal? So this idea of keeping it within your domain, I think, is really where I hope the industry goes. But grocers are not that innovative.
Yes.
Don't you think soon Meta and ChatGPT would start taking paid advertisements as well? So like they'll recommend products of the companies that are paying them?
Yep. You watch. Here it comes. They're greedy as hell. I mean, it's 85% of Google's profit comes from ads. And I'm sorry, search.
So I had a question. Oh, sorry. It's working. So I had a question on what you said about like making sure your website is searchable, so the LLMs can pick up the keywords and put it in the model. So I guess my first question is like, what sort of balance should we be striking between making websites appealing to the consumer versus searchable? Because if I'm buying a dress and I'm on the website, I don't want 3 paragraphs about that dress.
Totally. I think it depends on the product category. I think we're going through that right now, which is you're going to have better descriptors, and maybe you put it in a place where it says read more. You know what I mean? So you don't show the consumer everything. You have a read. You guys see this all the time, right? Click here to read more. You're going to have to be a little bit of both for the time being.
Okay, thank you. And sorry, I'd follow up if that's
okay.
In terms of like actually what is coming up in the LLM results, are we able to actually like A/B test versions of our websites that are readable versus gets in, or is it a total black box? Do you know that?
This is not my area of expertise, but as Pete knows, in Accenture, we've got search engine optimization people who know this world better than me. And so I'm bringing them into the fold and saying, how the heck is this going to work? Like, help me understand this. So on the technical, side, looking at, top of funnel, conversion rate, that's all those folks, not me. But yes, I think that's going to be part of the journey, absolutely.
Hi, that was a lovely presentation. I have one question for you. I want to know how Gen AI would impact customers' trust. Like, for example, I remember you mentioned an example where a company used a fake model, but it looked real. But at the end of the day, it's still fake. So, how do you think brands should take like measures to like remain transparent?
Well, I think it really depends on the brand. Estee Lauder, for example, and some of the you guys have probably seen this in the press. They're absolutely not doing anything with fake models because they want to be their authenticity is based upon skincare. You're not going to have a fake model. I mean, maybe there's other parts of products that who cares. But certainly, if your brand is about making skin better, you better have real skin. It's really good.
Thank
I mean,
you.
I'm just, this is kind of obvious.
Do we have time for one more?
One more?
Thank you. I heard many things from your presentation and I learned a lot. So if I'm the retailer and I walk to you and I hear all of this presentation and I haven't done anything of that yet, what would be your first recommendation of prioritizations? Because right now I have to rebuild my site, I have to rebuild my bot, I have to concern about my brand safety.
Mm-hmm.
So what would be my number one priority right now?
So most retailers today, I'll be honest with you, are worried about cost because of tariffs. And so if you can't control tariffs, then you better control your costs of what things you can control. So everyone's looking for ways to save money. So if I can show them technology that will make people more efficient or cut headcount, I hate to say it, but it's true. You guys know this. I'm not saying anything that's not happening. I'm going to help them save money. And so understanding, we call this goods not for resale. So not cost of goods sold, but goods not for resale. We're doing everything we can to get the cost of goods that are not for resale down because the cost of goods are going up. When it comes to this kind of content, there's 6 recommendations that we have and we go through them. The first one is about double down on your brand. If you know that traffic is not coming to you from any of these sites, then we better figure out why. So just looking, you can tell where traffic flow is coming from. I think on the supply chain side, better forecasting and replenishment and better understanding of, I call it supply chain diagnostic because everyone's looking at different sourcing. So that's traditional AI, not so much Gen AI. We talk about merchandising being responsive and giving the merchants better tools. So that's another area. And frontline worker, we're doing a lot of labor scheduling and time and attendance work right now, just because of cost. But it depends on who they are.
And from the Dean of Questrom School of Business, Susan
Uh-oh.
Fournier.
Okay, we have marketing concentrators. We have a lot of marketing teaching going on, a lot of courses. How do we prepare tomorrow with all this? Where do you think we are as educators preparing the workforce? You talked about the future workforce. What should we be doing?
I think you guys have got to get your head around what's going on with the tools. I mean, the basic fundamentals of marketing are still there. It's just being executed differently. And I think just knowing what these tools can do with companies is just really important for these folks if they're going to enter the workforce.
Thank you, Jill. Fantastic presentation. We're honored to have you. A small gift of
you.
our appreciation.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Thanks.
Thanks, everybody. With that, I'd like to thank Sandy Keldson, our operations director, for all her hard work. Haley's not here, but thank you, Haley, the events team, the support team in the back, and everyone else who helped make this reality today. Thank you, our speakers and panelists, and have a great evening.